Okay, stop scrolling right now, because while President Trump is pushing hard for a quick peace deal with Putin that could force Ukraine to give up land and leave it vulnerable, Congress just fired a massive shot across the bow. They passed a record $901 billion defense bill that locks in $800 million in new aid for Ukraine, directly defying Trump's Russia-friendly strategy and sending a clear message. America won't abandon its allies overnight. This isn't just about money. It's a bipartisan rebellion in a Republican-controlled Congress, boosting European security, restricting troop pullbacks, and keeping weapons flowing to Kyiv even as Trump negotiates behind closed doors. And the timing couldn't be more explosive just days after Putin's latest threats and with Trump's envoys deep in talks. But before we break down exactly how this massive bill exposes the cracks in Trump's Ukraine policy and what it means for the war, American security, and your tax dollars, let's make sure this reaches everyone who needs to hear the truth. If you believe Congress should stand up to rush deals that reward aggression, if you think facts about U.S. foreign policy matter more than White House spin, smash that subscribe button right now. Hit the like button like you're backing the troops and our allies, because Putin and his enablers are counting on Americans tuning out. The best way to fight that is with real, verified information. So, let's dive in. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is in this massive $901 billion National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2026? And why are lawmakers calling it a direct challenge to President Trump's approach on Ukraine and Russia? The NDAA isn't just a budget, it's the annual policy blueprint for the Pentagon, authorizing spending on everything from troop pay to weapons programs. This year's version passed overwhelmingly by both the House and Senate just days ago on the 17th of December, 2025. And signed by Trump on December 18 without much comment, authorizes a record $901 billion, that's $8 billion more than what the Trump administration originally requested. Key highlights that matter for U.S. foreign policy. Asterisk, a solid 4% pay raise for service members, the biggest in years, plus better housing and childcare support. Asterisk, huge investments in competing with China, modernizing our nuclear forces, and building more ships. Asterisk. But here's where it gets really interesting for anyone watching Ukraine. Even though the administration asked for zero new funding for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, Congress shoved in $800 million anyway, $400 million for 2026 and another $400 million for 2027. This money goes straight to American defense companies to build weapons Ukraine can actually use on the battlefield. And that's not all. The bill has several provisions clearly meant to strengthen Europe and limit how much the president can pull back. Asterisk, it blocks reducing U.S. troops in Europe below 76,000 without jumping through serious hoops with Congress, including proving it won't weaken NATO's deterrence against Russia. Asterisk, it keeps the U.S. European command leader as NATO's top commander, no handing that off. Asterisk, there's $175 million specifically for the Baltic countries to beef up their defenses against Russian threats. These Europe-focused rules come right after Trump's new national security strategy, which many experts saw as softer on Russia and as questioning some of our commitments overseas. Pretty much every major outlet, from Reuters to the Atlantic Council, is calling this a bipartisan pushback, even in a Republican Congress. Lawmakers from both sides made sure these provisions stayed in, showing that supporting Ukraine and Europe still has strong backing in Washington. No matter what's coming out of the White House, the timing is what makes it feel like Congress is drawing a line in the sand. Just weeks ago, Trump's team was deep in talks with Russian officials, and leaks pointed to plans that leaned heavily on Ukrainian concessions. Putin doubled down in his December 17 speech, demanding more territory and permanent limits on Ukraine's military. Then Congress drops this must-pass bill. It's been passed for 65 years straight and uses it to lock in real support. It's not the huge billions we saw before, but it's a clear statement. We're not walking away that easily. Some on the right say this hurts Trump's leverage. Others say it's exactly what we need to keep Putin from smelling weakness. The question now, will this money actually get new weapons to the front lines fast, or will the administration drag its feet? And will any peace deal have to clear a much tougher Congress? One thing's clear, this NDAA shows that while the White House leads the talks, Congress isn't ready to let America step back from standing with democracies against dictators. What do you think? Did Congress get this right? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you agree, and share this if you want the real story out there. Now, let's connect the dots on why this NDAA really feels like Congress pushing back against the Trump administration's whole approach to Russia and Ukraine, and what it actually means for the peace talks and America's long-term interests. The White House flat out requested $0 new for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. That's the program that pays American factories to make fresh weapons for Kyiv. But Congress said no way and forced in that $800 million over 2 years, even extending the program until 2029 so the money can't just quietly disappear. Experts across the board are saying this is a strong signal. Even with Republicans in charge, there's real resistance to completely stepping away from Ukraine while Putin won't budge an inch on his demands. Then you've got those European protections that tie the president's hands a bit. Asterisk, no dropping U.S. Troops in Europe below 76,000 without proving to Congress it won't hurt NATO's ability to deter Russia. Asterisk, keeping our top commander in Europe as NATO's leader. Asterisk $175 million to harden the Baltic states against Russian aggression. These aren't small details. They come right after Trump's security strategy, which many saw as pulling back from Europe. Congress basically used this must-pass bill to set a floor, making it harder to deploy troops or use them as bargaining chips in talks. With Putin's latest speech repeating his ultimatum, "Give me what I want, or I'll take more by force," and Trump's team deep in negotiations that seem to lean toward concessions, this bill lands like a counterpunch. It's not endless aid, but it's deliberate. Keep some weapons flowing, keep our presence strong, no matter what happens in those closed-door meetings. Some isolationists say it weakens Trump's hand, but many Republicans on the defense committees argue it's smart. Don't let Putin think we're divided or tired. Bottom line, there's a real split in Washington right now. The White House wants a fast deal to call it a win and move on. Congress, with its longer historical memory, is saying, hold on, we can't risk rewarding aggression. If Trump wants lasting peace, he'll have to work around or with this congressional backbone. And if Putin thinks America's ready to fold, this just proved him wrong, at least for the moment. Does this give Ukraine more room to reject bad terms? Or could it drag things out? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like if you think Congress nailed it, share this to get the word out, and subscribe for more Straight Talk breakdowns. And here's the truly chilling part, the one that should keep every American up at night. Congress just handed President Trump this $901 billion defense bill loaded with $800 million in new Ukraine aid and strict rules on European troops, and he signed it quietly. No drama, no veto, no angry post calling it sabotage, just his signature on December 18, locking in support for Kyiv while his own people push for a deal that could leave Ukraine carved up and defenseless. Is Trump playing some next-level strategy signing to look united while planning to sideline the aid behind the scenes? Or is this the first real sign his Russia approach is hitting walls even inside his own party? Because right now, today, December 19, those Miami talks are happening in secret. Whispers of real progress on guarantees. But Putin's still insisting on more land, and Zelensky's holding firm on sovereignty. Will this congressional stand give Ukraine the strength to say no to a bad deal? Or will Trump find a way to freeze the funds, bypass the restrictions, and force through an agreement just to claim victory? The battle for Ukraine's future isn't only on the front lines anymore. It's exploding in Washington. And the next move could reshape Europe, American power, and whether strongmen around the world learn that aggression actually pays. We don't know who will blink first, but something huge is coming, and it's coming fast. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You're not going to want to miss what happens next. Share this if you're watching closely. The fight isn't over. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.